Ba-da, ba-da-da-da-bow-doo-da-da, bow. Guys, I am the Fantastic Chris Plastic. Let's do some positivity. I am tired. Tired of some yum yucking. Let's talk about things that we like. And here's the deal. I want to get this out of the way. If I'm showing you something, it's because I want it. I want to like it. I will let you know if I'm disappointed. But we are here to like things, aren't we? After all, let's build the community up. Let's not dwell on the things we don't like. And let's unbox a bunch of toys. Before we do, though, real fast, if you could like this video, you could comment on this video. That'd be really cool, too. And finally, most importantly, of all things, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That's a big help to me. Also, Entertainment Earth, use code SPP Toys, and you can save 10% on items in stock, which always helps. A little bit always helps. Let's fly over to the studio. We have our first figure already waiting there. I will update the thumbnail, so if you're watching this recorded, which you probably are, you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you're joining me live, that thumbnail is a placeholder. But to the studio, boom! We are going to start with Earth 2 Superman. Right away, I will start with a negative comment. I don't love the texturing on this. At least I don't think I do in hand. But we will see. Because it's actually in reference to the comic book that is packed in with this figure. That may change opinions. But this might also be a great figure to start with. To slowly customize another Superman to be your preferred Val Zod. Val Zod, of course, is a pacifist. So... we are using our acclaimed scissors. They do say the acclaimed somewhere on there. So, you know, scissor me, daddy ass. Scissor me. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. I know I am. I will have some announcements about things happening this week, which is always fun. Places you can see me other than shiny plastic people. Okay, pull out the comic book. These are usually not very long, these comic books. But it is still cool to have a pack in. Yeah, you get to see that texture right there in the pages. So, you know, the figure does represent the source material. We also get Page Puncher card. Oh, we've got our blur on. Hey, Vectorverse is here. Vector is an incredible man to follow if you want to know things that you should be checking out. Be it comic books, be it Star Wars, he is on top of it. So cool. Boo-doo-doo-boo-boo. Let's turn off the portrait mode. We have our stand here for Val Zod. But let's get to the man, the myth, the legend. Boom. Right there. Pop those tabs, hopefully without using a knife. I hate things. Oh boy. Actually, we were out earlier today. I got a haircut and my wife's like, don't you need to film something? I'm like, yeah. It's nice when your wife supports your plastic habits. Alright, so let's take a look at the figure here. Got a nice head sculpt. Not much in the way of back. The head is stopping that. Decent looking down post. We have a soft goods cape. It is not wired, though. That's alright. Arms go way up. They actually pop out this socket piece. Round and round. We got our bicep cut. Double jointed elbows. The standard McFarlane ball at the wrist, but you know what? They've done such a good job of hiding that as the years have gone on. I don't mind it. Okay, abs. A little bit down, a little bit up. Not a lot, but we do get some twist. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, legs out. Forward. Back. Could probably splitsies. Double jointed knee. Can't quite kick his own butt. It's alright. Wonder if we'll ever see the Michael B. Jordan Val Zod movie. We got our ball at the ankle and our toe articulation. Up there. Doesn't come with any parts to swap in here. The accessory, of course, is the comic book. If you get the Platinum edition of this figure, however, he does come with some extra armor. So let's take a look here at the figure. You get to see all this nice texture. The underwear effect isn't all that bad on this figure, I think. Nice whites. I don't love the texture, but there is a lot of it. It matches the comic. We have these points here on the back of the hands, which is interesting. I don't know the character's comic book look enough to gauge that. But a solid look. A solid figure. I was excited to add him to my Superman shelf. Because representation matters. I know I have nieces and nephews who come in and sometimes wonder why they don't see themselves on my action figure shelf. So I think it's very important to get some different representation there for them. All right. I have quite the stack. What should we do next? How about back to our overhead? Put Val off to the side here. Got our comic book. We'll have to check that out. Oh, let's grab the Platinum Edition. Captain Boomerang. You have seen me unbox the regular edition of this figure before, but I wanted this Platinum Edition more than any other in the line. Well, okay, maybe Superpowers Penguin. Back is the same as the standard edition. The only difference in the packaging is this sticker. I don't want to hang on too much to the accessories because you can check out that video to really get an idea of what the figure looks like. Okay, and he's free. But here's what is exciting about him. He is a White Lantern. It's covered up by his bandolier with all of his boomerangs. But he is a White Lantern. He has this nice soft goods coat, which is actually really well made. It's kind of a pleathery material. I don't know if I covered that before. It's got the white blue everywhere, kind of going on to fit the White Lantern theme, which was very light, whitish blues, some silvers, some grays. He actually could manifest energy boomerangs when he briefly was a White Lantern. It's funny that we get Captain Boomerang, though, before we get Hal, Kyle, Sinestro, or any number of other White Lanterns we were given during the Blackest Night event. You know, we do get a stand with the painted DC logo. Boomerangs, couple hands, the card and stand. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all with that. But yeah, it is a nice figure. I like the soft goods. I like the scarf. I like the cape. No boomer energy, thankfully. That's true, Zach. That is very, very true. Hey, if you guys are not checking out Zach Kinsella or his Toy Art channel, what are you doing, guys? Zach is an incredibly talented artist, a wrestling fan after my own heart. Just a wonderful dude. Check him out. I have put links to his channel before in videos, so you have no excuse. Alright, next figure. This one is a new one. It's Ambush Bug. Also, Aaron from Payne's Toy Sample stopping by to say, hey, Aaron, every Wednesday, doing some toy therapy, talking toys. I have actually, I had the joy, the honor of being the very first session. And I think I accidentally talked a little bit too much about my depression. And it freaked everybody out. So don't do that. Be cool. Oh, Aaron is actually on hiatus for the future. So do me a favor. Go back and, check out his past episodes. Get those views up. He's a great guy. I will give him credit for doing something I never would. He talked to another toy tuber who I will not name, who I personally don't agree with, but gave him a chance to talk about, his collecting, his things, and some of those topics that were, controversial, and that's very cool. That's a very big thing to do, and I applaud Aaron for that. And I know he's also going through some things, but an incredible collector, wonderful man. Check him out. I want to make sure people know that there are wonderful collectors in the space. So one thing I want to talk about very interestingly here right away is this hand. I wonder if it wasn't initially meant to be packed in. Because it was in a baggie, which is not very McFarlane. Not very McFarlane at all. We do get an ambush bug card. Pretty standard. So these are kind of a waste, I think. But what I do with these is I pack them with accessories. So I know what accessories belong to what. Even though sometimes green hands are pretty obvious what they go to. But it's an easy way to organize those accessories. Okay. So many little plastic tabs. I hate them. I am gonna guess Ambush Bug here is based on the John Kent Superman buck that we are seeing for so many of the thinner characters. We used it Superman. We used it with Kid Flash, with specifically the gold label Wally West. Red Robin used this buck. Okay. So we get his little plushie here on the side. And Ambush Bug himself. The big giveaway on these is usually the shoulder. And that is the Superman, John Kent Superman shoulder. Very thin. Got these big antennae. But he has something not many do, which is... Well, no, the fist is standard. It's the holding hand. But he has new legs. We don't have the boot sculpting on here. So if you're looking for a thin, plain buck, this is it. This is the one, because the sculpting is minimal. Very thin. The underwear effect is tight on the buck. Very good. Now let's talk about the figure itself that we have in hand here. The head looks down. Very good motion there. Head looks up. Pretty good motion. I'm not going to complain about that. If you were doing a flight, you could do it with the bend, probably. Roundy round. Slightly better than 90. Not much. Double jointed elbow. Twisty. That's good. Again, we are using the slightly sculpted balls. Not the cleanest execution I've seen, but not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, ab, forward, back. We're actually getting some of the waist in there. The waist actually helps quite a bit. Yes. Not bad. Yeah, twist. There are no thigh cuts, but I'm going to let you in on a secret, dear loyal viewer. I don't have a thigh cut either. But we do get, actually, this is one of the better ones, quite a bit of turn inside that thigh. I think it's trying to mimic more your real life ability. So, double jointed knees. Again, not quite to the buttocks. bad either. I actually kind of wonder if I need another to finally finish up my Superboy that I've been working on forever. I'm bad at customizing, and I am lazy. But these are such clean undies, and this clean boot, is such customizing potential. It is the sculpted ankle, so it hides better than the old plain ball joint, but it does rock. It does turn. Does all those things. Allison Troy stopping in to say greetings. Allison Troy also is days away, really, at this point. A year is 365 days, so I could say a year, of doing a short every single day for a year, which is incredible. And then she's coloring with folks on Sundays. Now, there are some pre-records coming up. She's going to take a break before she launches Allison Troy, Retro Toy Princess Season 2. But check her out. She's always so much fun. And if she ever asks you to color with her, do it. Do it. Because she's just really great people to hang out with. I can't say enough. The people who've stopped in and said hello, all wonderful creators, people, just a pleasure to be around. Also, not coming up yet, but Zach said that he also ordered Ambush Bug from GameStop. He is super stoked for it. You should be. Tomorrow is actually Allison Troy hanging out with Derek Hoover, chatting and coloring some Bravestar, which is super duper cool. Super cool. This is a good figure. If you're an Ambush Bug fan, Bug fan, pick it up. You won't be disappointed. Also, Customizer, Slim Buck. This is a winner. I can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. All right. Next in the pile. Booster Gold. Highly Articulated asks, what's an ambush bug? Well, he's a fourth wall breaking, silly, goofy character from the 80s. He was Deadpooling before Deadpool. You really must know. But yeah. Todd finally got one right. Now, this is New 52 Booster Gold. Didn't quite get the head sculpt right away out of the box. Get some art letting you know exactly how the head sculpt's a little bit off. Allison Troy says it's Keith Giffen's greatest gift to comic book world. That's her take on Ambush Bug #1. I was actually recently gifted a copy of Ambush Bug #1. Kind of in rough shape, but it was cool of a coworker to give me a copy of that. You thought I might actually know who Ambush Bug is. And I do. I'm aware of, not a big reader. I should be, especially based on Allison Troy's recommendation right there. This is our second Booster Gold from McFarlane Toys. The first was in a 2-pack with Blue Beetle. And actually, it's our third version of Michael Carter. Because the Wave Rider we got from McFarlane Toys is actually from Convergence, who was an older New 52 Booster Gold. You needed to know. He comes with a flight stand. I always appreciate when we get a flight stand. Allison Troy has Showcase presents Ambush Bugs. Needs to scan some pages and color them. All right, here's a look at the flight stand. It is clear. It does have an etched DC logo there in the bottom. What a wonderful crowd today. I am so excited. Taking some legs out of the package. ASMR. Let's just cut the dates. With our official acclaimed AEW scissors. Again, you weren't here earlier. Scissor me, Daddy S. Billy Gunn getting kids in trouble since the 90s. All right. This is actually, I think... Okay, this is not the Slim Buck. This is kind of our standard superhero buck that he's been using. You can just paint on and do a head swap on. And I don't mind it. I actually kind of enjoy the minimal sculpting figures they do. It sometimes gets weird, though, because we have, boot detail that doesn't fit the characters. Like we have boot tops here. And they should be a smooth character. In fact, let me show you on this camera right here what I'm talking about with the boots. There's a boot at the top here. But we got this nice Vegas gold colorway, a non-transparent visor, a little bit of a bummer there, but that's okay. I like Booster Gold. So let's hop back over here and talk articulation, because it's not going to be very different. This is the more standard style ball, it appears, but it is smaller. Head back. Head forward. Not bad. It does go roundy round. I didn't do that with other figures. Okay, arm up. Woo! So much fun. I haven't been disappointed in any figure I've opened today, which makes me excited. Fun fact about New 52 Booster Gold, he was supposedly Canadian. He was introduced in Justice League International. And I had that comic with... No, it was Justice League of America I had with the Wyoming state flag, because nobody else wanted that, right? Okay, double jointed elbow, wrists, are up, are down, roundy rounds. Love it. Ooh. The ab is actually slightly painted off center, which is unfortunate. Yes, Wyoming has a state flag like all states. It is a buffalo with a crest in the middle of it. It's about to be our license plate too. We're getting rid of the nature scene and doing a state flag. Okay. Forward on the ab, forward all the way on the crunch, back on the ab, better than most, and way back, way back. It's just a picture of Colorado. So, fun fact, we have a rivalry with Colorado, but I'm sure we mean nothing to Colorado, because that's how it works. I think we're just jealous of your things to do, and people, and activities, and food, and fun. Leg forward. This is actually kind of what's cool about the rubber undies, is you do get a nice kick up. You can kick way back, despite his butt hanging out there. But it does distort those. Double jointed knee, roundy round at the ankle, ankle forward, ankle back, toe. I haven't done any out, I don't think, but you do get a nice out, and his thigh is limited. Not bad. Again, I like a Booster Gold. I'm glad we got another one with a newer look. People go to Colorado on purpose. When was the last time Wyoming could say that? If you're not counting hunting or fishing, the eclipse, not the most recent eclipse, the eclipse before that, because we were right in the line of totality and came in like second for the most time in total eclipse. The town went nuts. We built a lot of things for it. It was actually a lot of fun. I kind of considered eclipse chasing because it was so cool. Yeah. I still have more stuff. Let's do the Azrael Bat Armor, specifically the Platinum Edition. So excited to get this one. Works. Don Draper, I don't even think of you vibes. Though the grocery store in Chugwater has great milkshakes. Chug water. I'm actually trying to think of a grocery store there. Yeah, we do have Yellowstone, but so does Montana. We like to pretend like it's only ours, but we do have the Tetons. Oh, the Tetons. There's a lot of outdoor. The vast majority of our state is actually federal land. Lucha Johnny is stopping in and saying, hello. Lucha Johnny, of course, part of Geek the F Out. They're weekly rewatching the original Star Trek series. They just watched the 50th episode of the original Star Trek. Very cool. Finished up their rewatch of Stranger Things Season 3 and will begin watching Lost. Johnny, have you watched Lost before? Is this a rewatch for both of you, or is this a first time for you? Either way, we have to go back to the island. Wait. We have to go back. Spoiler alert, it wasn't good. I assume you're talking Season 3 of Stranger Things. I didn't mind it. So this is a Platinum Edition of the Azrael armor. I actually found this in store, which is crazy. I found the original version, too, in red. I was excited to get both of them. To terrorize ice cream with oversized spoons. Are you eating ice cream with giant spoons? Oh, no, episode 50 of Star Trek wasn't good. And Zach loves Lost. Hey. Oh, man, I'm going to plug everyone tonight. So, friend of the channel, Ralph, a.k.a. Casino Skunk Productions himself, of live-action Star Trek. And, yeah, I'm gonna be kind enough to stand here with you. Of live-action Star Wars. And so many other great channels. And the upcoming Lanterns Live, which I think is going to be Green Lantern based, is coming out soon with a documentary about Lost. And I've backed it on Indiegogo, except I can't log into my account, so I'm worried that when that gets delivered, I won't be able to get my copy, and I'll have to pay for it again. But he will be joining Geek the F Out for Lost coverage, because he's the man, especially when it comes to Lost. Ralph is awesome. Anyway, back here. This is a very special Chris Plugs Everyone episode of Shiny Plastic People. And we've already been live for 28 minutes. Wow. It's a long one. All right. Let's get Jean-Paul Valley out of the plastic here. Oh, ooh, that's why you gotta be careful. I just scarred up some plastic with my scissors like a heathen. Okay, let's be careful this way. Man, I think every one of us is more than willing to talk Lost. In fact, let me tell you a secret here, Zach. And I knew it wasn't true at the time, but season 1, when we saw just trees falling on the island, I desperately wanted it to be a T-Rex and for Lost to actually be a secret reboot of Land of the Lost. Come on! But we got something pretty much more interesting than that. Johnny says he loves this Batman suit. It was the 90s. Things were extreme. And so was John Paul Valley. This was his Nightfall era. Ooh, how many plastic things are there on this? All of them. All of them. So, if you want to see Zach, check out his channel and a future episode of Geek the F Out. Like, that show has monsters? Sold. Oh, I don't know how detail-oriented I want to get with that. Oh, I just... The ultimate reveal was a little bit disappointing. Lost is the argument, I think, for a show Bible. I know they couldn't get to the end on time because, it just kept getting renewed and renewed. But somewhere, I just wish someone somebody would have written down, here's the ending. So when we finally get there, we know how to end it. Has watched up season 4, though. Ugh, I can't even remember when things happen. The end of season 1 was the hatch, right? And then season 2, we find out who's in the hatch. Brudda. The tailies were the best, even though they didn't hang out all that long, of most of them. Let's put some cape bits on. This is where I should have a hairdryer nearby. I just want to scream catchphrases from Lost now. Just, Walt! Walt! Lost. What a wonderful time in our life. Like, that was, like, really the start of, like, adventure, or, like, must-see, like, serial TV. Like, it'd been forever. Like, it's a part of TV, but it was just, like, it was an event. It was water cooler television. Like, you had to see it. You could talk to people the next day at work about it. Is the first one with the hard... Is this the first one with the hard plastic cape pieces? The one I have is soft plastic. They never stay straight. Yes, this one is the first with the hard plastic. It is kind of the later look for Jean-Paul. Even though these want to pop out. They want to pop out all the time on my red one of these. Okay. Ha! Yeah! Look at him. Boy, oh boy. So yeah, articulation is going to be very limited. I thankfully have a stand already here. Because of the design of this thing. He also kind of doesn't really like to stand on his own because of all the weight of that cape. Even with the stand, he's having a hard time. But yeah, you get like these nice, like, you know, connectors to his Boomerang shooters on his gauntlets. You have the head. I knocked one of the cape pieces off already. Just ignore that. It's so cool though. It is a cool figure. He's got a rubber overlay, but does bend nicely. Got the bandolier on the leg, which was pretty common in the 90s. You needed more pouches. There was never enough pouches in the 90s. What were we storing all these things? You know, probably phone contacts, cameras, all the things our cell phones do now. We had to have pouches for back in the 90s that we thankfully don't have to have now. Never enough pouches. It's a cool figure. He might need a beefier stand or 2 stands. Or stand against the wall. That's always my secret. There's walls for a reason. Oh, guys, it has been 35 minutes. I think I'm going to call it there. I want to talk about some things coming up. If you don't mind. Monday, friend of the channel, Derek Hoover, who you will see tomorrow on Retro Toy Princess, coloring some Brave Star in a pre-record. I bet they'll be hanging out in the chat, though. You can still see them in the chat. We'll be releasing a video on yesterday's podcast about Batman 89, celebrating its anniversary. So check that out. And to tie into that, next week, if I'm not lazy, asterisks, I will be releasing a review of the McFarlane Toys Joker Mobile from Batman the Animated Series, because Batman the Animated Series was kind of a tie-in to the 89 Batman movie. So that's very cool. Very, very, very cool. And it's a great toy. Spoiler alert, it's great. Also, this week, I will be on the Holdo Maneuver, talking about episode 4 of The Acolyte. So, no yucking. We're going to be honest about the episode and what we feel about it. So far, I've loved the series. Episode 3 I thought was incredible. Yeah, everybody has their own opinions, and it's fine to not like it, but by George, if you don't like it just because, representation, you think it's woke, do me a favor. I'm going to ask the people here watching the video to like, to comment, and subscribe, of course. But if you're worried about people being too woke, I'm actually going to ask you to unsubscribe, because we don't do that here. Love is love. Let yourself shine. Thank you so much for being here. Take care.